Cats just punched their ticket to a bowl game, but now they walk into Bearcats' den at Nippert Stadium, where Cincinnati hasn't lost at home all season long. I'm your host, Nathan Johnson, alongside Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. Brad, big game for both of these teams for different reasons. The Big 12 obviously wide open. Cincinnati Bearcats are looking to get back on track. So Cincinnati's had an up and down season this year. Obviously, they're coming off of a huge loss against Utah 2 weeks ago. They had a bye week last week. Now they get an extra week to prepare for this Arizona game and a much needed bounce back game for the Bearcats. They've won some games they shouldn't have won. They've lost some games that probably should have kept a little bit closer. In the end, they're having a great year, 7-2 so far on the season. Still have everything in front of them in the Big 12. Can Brent Brennan's team keep the magic alive, or will Scott Satterfield's squad bounce back and prove they belong among the Big 12 elite? That's the big question to be answered on Saturday afternoon, 12 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 in this Big 12 matchup. Brad, my question to you out of the gate: Cincinnati's had a week to stew on that Utah loss. How much does this feel like a statement game for the Bearcats?
It's a huge game, Nate, and you mentioned it in the opener there. Everything's still in front of Cincinnati. They've got one conference loss, 2 overall. Of course, the first opening week loss to Nebraska, and then a really, really disappointing showing against Utah. But everything's still in front of Cincinnati, so it's a big game. And it's a big game also. This is a dangerous Arizona team. I've been really impressed with the job that Brent Brennan has done. Everyone was ready to kick him out of Tucson this offseason. Of course, Jedd Fisch had done a great job. A very, very disappointing year one campaign for them. And, they lose Tet McMillan, of course, but bringing back Noah Fafita, that always gives you a chance. He's done a good job. 6-3. You mentioned they're bowl eligible. This is a dangerous Arizona team coming into Cincinnati that the Bearcats have got to be ready for.
Yeah. Fun little tidbit for you. This is the first time ever meeting between these two programs.
That's pretty cool. And it's a conference game.
And it's a conference game. Yeah.
Crazy, so that's cool.
It's great. Cincinnati 7-2, Arizona not far behind them, 6-3. Bearcats fresh off of a bye week. Wildcats coming off of a 24-20 comeback over Kansas. And listen, as much as you say, they struggled against Kansas, those games when you come back and prove that you can win, those are confidence builders. We saw that for Indiana against Penn State. You say what you want about Penn State, but Indiana's ability to come back and win on that final drive tells me everything I need to know about that locker room and then the team they are this year.
Well, you bring up a good point. Kansas is,
they're not a terrible program.
Not terrible, but once again, this is college football now, is that you're going to be in fourth quarter games just about every week.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reality of it. And especially in a conference like the Big 12, we've been talking about this all season. The Big 12 is wide open. Nate, I'm gonna venture to say, I think we can both agree Texas Tech is probably the elite. I don't know that there's a whole lot of difference between teams 2 and what team
5. Maybe not 10, but 5.
I think you bring up a good point.
There's 3 or 4 teams right there.
Maybe 2 to 5 or 6.
Yeah.
There's really not that much of a difference. So the reality is you're going to be in close games.
Agreed. Arizona officially bowl eligible, first time under Brent Brennan. That's huge for that program. Say what you want about kind of the drawback that they've had since Jedd Fisch's departure. They led him to an 11-1 season, which was, or 11-2, whatever it was. It was something crazy. They win in the Alamo Bowl against a very good Colorado team who was playing everyone at the time. This is a momentum check. Brad, can Arizona carry that late game confidence from the Kansas win into one of the toughest environments in the Big 12 on Saturday?
This is going to be tough, and something else. Early kick, and Arizona's traveling cross country, so it's going to be a challenge for them. But once again, no Fafita in that backfield. That's got to give you confidence.
Yeah.
This is such a fascinating game, Nate. Once again, Brent Brennan has done a really, really good job this year. But it's a tall task. It is. It's going to be very, very tough. But once again, Arizona's dangerous. And it's Arizona's. They're out of the conference race, but they're playing for respect. Look, 9 wins,
huge.
9 wins, that's huge. And once again, Cincinnati playing for Big 12 championship rights. But Nate, something that stands out to me: Arizona took BYU to the absolute limit. This is a dangerous team. This is a case of me. This is a case to me where Cincinnati cannot let one loss turn into two. I do think that helps because of the bye week. But they've got to put that Utah game behind them and go and attack this Arizona Wildcats team.
Yeah, let's talk about both of these offenses up front. Cincinnati offense, 436 yards per game, ranked 31st, really good. Rushing attack has been there as well, 196 yards per game rushing, ranked 25th in the nation, 35.6 points per game, ranked 20th in the nation. So even with that huge loss against Utah, it's still very highly ranked.
Very good.
And it all starts with Brendan Sorsby. I've been high on this guy all year long. Over 2,000 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, and Brad, only 2 picks.
Yeah, he's efficient. He takes care of the ball. And something else that maybe a lot of people know about, maybe they don't. He's a good runner too. This guy can kill you with his legs, and he contributes to that Russian attack.
Call me crazy. He kind of reminds me of a Baker Mayfield style type player.
See that, yeah.
And then you look at the wide receiver he's getting to throw to, just an absolute dog. Cyrus Allen, over 500 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns on the year. He's a difference maker.
Nate, just a quick point. I was high on this guy. He had a very, very quiet year at A&M last year. And once again, I think this is where I am a fan of the transfer portal. He needed a new place, and he's succeeding.
He found it.
Exactly. He is really having a big year and succeeding in Cincinnati.
Let's talk about the Arizona offense, right? 406 yards per game, ranked top 60, not the greatest. 254 through the pass, ranked 43rd. And then 33 points per game, ranked 32nd in the nation. So not terrible. And it all starts with their quarterback as well, Noah Fafita. He can use his arm and legs. I've talked about him before. It kind of reminds me of that Kyler Murray style play. Undersized guy, but can really be shifty.
Yeah.
Throw the ball. He's got a strong arm.
Oh, yeah.
2,200 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, and only 4 picks. So not much of a difference between these two guys. Different style of play,
right,
but both great quarterbacks in their own respect.
I think it shows you. Noah Fafita, I mean, he's getting it done this year without Ted McMillan. I mean, the previous two seasons, he had an NFL receiver that he's turned to, and he's getting it done this year without him. They've still got some very, very talented guys that he's throwing to, Spivey, Watley, Hudson.
Yeah.
And the offensive line play, I think, has been an improvement for Arizona this year too. But Noah's just he's a gamer, man. He is just very, very talented. Don't know what the pro projection is, but I would use a late draft pick on him for sure, just to have him my quarterback. Or
just take a chance, and maybe he's a guy that the Cardinals pick up because they're looking for a new guy, right? Let's talk about the defensive edge in this one. Arizona, 302 yards allowed per game, ranked 17th, so not terrible.
No.
That's pretty balanced when all things considered. +8 in the turnover margin. That's the biggest key right here. Cincinnati, on the other hand, 380 yards allowed per game. But the red zone D, 22nd in the nation, 77.4%. That's pretty good.
Yes.
They've held their own. Again, aside from the Utah game, not many teams are going to play Utah very well, except for BYU, Texas Tech. Right. I think you could understand why there. My question for you, Brad, is Arizona's top 10 in takeaways while Cincinnati racks up penalties. Do you think discipline could be a hidden X factor here?
This is a great question. Look, to me, I think for Arizona to have a legitimate chance, and Brendan Sorsby has not done it, but Arizona's going to have to force some turnovers. They're gonna want to create havoc, and they're going to need some things to go their way in that respect. I think they've got to force at least 2 turnovers. That's a tall task. This is not a Cincinnati team that turns the ball over much, so they've got their hands full with that.
Yeah, let's talk about the matchup breakdowns for a second. Arizona's secondary, 160 pass yards allowed, 7th in FBS. They have been outstanding, and it all starts with their safety Johnson, ranked 36th in the nation at the strong safety position. You look at the other side, number 12, their free safety Smith. I mean, they got guys on defense like you wouldn't believe it. And then their corner Stukes, he's the guy to look out for. He's going to play man coverage very well in this game. They got a lot of guys in the secondary. There's no doubt about that. Versus Sorsby Allen duo. Can they shut down Allen? I don't think they can. I think they can try to limit them. they're going to get him in space. They're going to find ways to get him open. That's a key matchup to look out for. Wildcats, Ismail Mahdi, 591 rushing yards versus linebacker Jake Golday, 80 tackles on the year for the Bearcats of Cincinnati. That's another key match to look out for. Cincinnati must run to control tempo. They got to control tempo. We know what they're capable of in the passing game. Can they do it in the run game? It's a question for me on Saturday. They rank 136 in time of possession, 24 minutes. Got to step it up, Brad. You can't do that against the Wildcats. You got to keep Fafita off the field. That's the way you win. Both teams average below 85% in red zone efficiency. Maybe that has to do with big playability down the field. You know, we talked about that last week on our live. Tulane's red zone offense was terrible, but they don't need to score in the red zone. They throw a lot of deep shots down the field, and they did that last Friday. So I'm not sure if that really plays into it, but special teams might flip this game as well. Brad, who do you trust late in a one-score game? Fafita's composure or Sorsby's big play arm?
I'm going to answer this question with... because I trust both of them. I think they're both very, very good quarterbacks. It's more so that I trust the weapons around Sorsby more and that rush attack and the physicality. Give me Sorsby, but just from a quarterback standpoint, heck, I take,
it's a coin flip.
I take either one, right? I think Cincinnati has got a few more playmakers. I think they're more physical. It's a more dynamic rushing attack, and that's why I think all those factors lead me to Brendan Sorsby. Sorsby's got weapons all over the field.
Well, and I'm going to do a hot take here. Maybe it's not, maybe it is, but listen, I'm going to take Fafita in that matchup because I've seen Sorsby in those one-score close games. He didn't deliver. So I got to go off of what I've seen with my own two eyes, right? We saw him make that brutal mistake against Nebraska on that late drive. Didn't finish there. Couldn't get it going against Utah 2 weeks ago. So I understand Utah's a tough team. Like, there's no doubt about it. They couldn't get anything going offensively against Utah. So I'm going to take Fafita in that one. I think he uses his legs and is able to make plays. But I still like Sorsby's ability. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But just based on what I've seen. So let's talk about the coaching intangibles, right? Scott Satterfield loves coaching for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Third year at Cincinnati, took the team from 3-9 to 7-2, and he said, "quote We've still got everything to play for." This is a guy who loves that university, and he's got his players to buy in. He's one of those coaches that if I'm a college athlete or a college football player, I'm wanting to go play for this guy. And then Brent Brennan on the other side. Very underrated guy coming over from San Jose State. Wasn't sure what we were going to get out of him, right? Last year didn't go so well for Arizona. This year they bounced back. They're building Arizona back to the Pac-12 glory roots in the Big 12 territory now. Nippert Stadium, midday crowd is rowdy, home field advantage, edge matters. Brad, my question to you is, with both teams riding different kinds of momentum, which sideline do you trust to adjust better mid-game or at the half? The bye week Bearcats or the battle-tested Wildcats?
I really like Cincinnati in that matchup just because coming off the bye week, I think you're going to see them throw in some new wrinkles. I think they're going to be a little bit more rested. Once again, I think a big factor in this one is Arizona's traveling cross country. I think early kick and then weather TBD. I mean, some things that Arizona's going to have to overcome.
Yeah, listen, it's warm in Arizona year round. It says 61 degrees right now. It was snowing today in Ohio. I got confirmation today from a reliable source in the forecast. So I thought the weather, but I mean, you just don't know. So I guess that brings us to our predictions, Brad. Arizona at Cincinnati, big game for both of these guys. Both are eligible, bowl eligible, but they still both have their seasons ahead of them.
Yeah.
Cincinnati currently favored by 5.5 in this one. It's now up to 6.5. It opened at 5.5. Over under 56.5 right now. Who are you taking in this Big 12 matchup on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bearcats in this one. Once again, to me, it comes down to I just think Cincinnati is just a little bit more dynamic on offense. I love the three-headed monster of Sorsby, Walker at running back, and then Cyrus Allen. I just think they've got a few more ways to attack Arizona. And then once again, I just think some of these factors of Arizona's travel, an early kick, I think it's favoring Cincinnati. I'm going to take the over. I think Cincinnati is going to win this one. I'm going to go 31-21 in this.
Okay, I'm going to take Cincinnati as well. I think this one is a big bounce back game for the Bearcats. Satterfield's going to have his players ready. Sorsby's very disciplined, very motivated. He's a veteran guy. I know Noah Fafita is as well, but it just seems like Sorsby's going to be riding the momentum that all the media is talking about. Cincinnati has taken a step back. I think they step up in this one. Give me the Bearcats 38-31. I think the over hits as well. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. Big 12 shootout. Let us know your score predictions down below. Hit that subscribe button. Help us to get to 1,000 subs. Really appreciate all the support. We're almost there. And be sure to tune in Friday night for our Break the Huddle After Dark live game between the Louisville Cardinals and the Clemson Tigers. We'll have live commentary and analysis. Be sure to check in then. We'll see you Friday night. It's time to Break the Huddle.